My name is Beth Hiley here for BoardGameGeek at Gen Con 2016. I'm sitting down with Jake Given from Lay Waste Games, and you've brought us Dragoon, which says so right on the box. 50 middle pieces, which you can tell when you pick up the box.
It's pretty weighty, yeah.
Yeah, but so satisfyingly so.
Yeah, exactly.
Watching you set up, I kept going, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, the first thing you do, you take it out of the box, and it's surprising what
huge visual
these pieces
appeal.
look like.
Yeah, because even just you, actually, I started going oohing and ahhing when you laid out this cloth map, grid map, which, so, all right, what are we trying to accomplish, aside from just sitting back and admiring and saying, here it is.
Exactly.
What are we trying to accomplish in Dragoon?
So in this game, you are one of 4 dragons living on this island here. We've been getting along as best dragons can, but something has now happened and changed, and humans have discovered this island. And as humans do, they've begun building villages and cities all over our once pristine and beautiful island. Now this is very disturbing to us because this is our island, but they have brought gold, which we've never seen before. This has awakened our inner thirst for hoarding treasure. So it is now a race to fill our caves with as much gold as we can get our claws on, primarily by destroying the human invaders and usurpers and taking their gold right away, or you can claim them and demand that they worship you and pay you tribute over time. So sort of short-term burst versus a longer-term investment. And there's some combat involved, stealing. There's a ghost player, the thief, which you can steal gold from as well, and the first player to end the round with 50 or more gold is the winner.
Now, give us an example, because you have a few actions, you got little helper cards here. You know, if you want to take us through a couple of these actions that we might be able to choose from on our turn.
Absolutely. So at the beginning of every round, we'll roll to populate more and more villages on the map, and it's just a 6x6 grid.
Which are also metal, by the way, just to highlight that as well.
And so we'd place a village here, and they can be upgraded to cities, which are worth more gold. They're much more delicious. And on your turn, you will have 3 actions to spend. You can spend them any way you choose, but for the most part, you'll be moving, destroying.
Right, and I'm imagining the numbers are how many of those 3 points that action costs for you to do.
And you also have a hand of cards to play, and that's where a lot of the strategy is going to come into play, because you can really lay out some interesting combinations.
Let's take a look at a few of the artwork on there, because there's some really neat imagery on those as well.
So a card like Fair Wind allows you to move around the board much more easily, or a card like Lay Waste will allow you to destroy all of the villages and cities you encounter for the rest of the turn and earn you lots and lots of gold.
Now, it would have been so easy to have just done a cardboard fold map and plastic figurines of dragons. Like, what inspired you guys to really take such a different turn in the materials that you used for designing this game?
No, absolutely. So I love the plastic miniatures, especially with like 3D printing. It's become really, really popular, really unique way to go, and it gives you a lot of creativity. But we have seen, it seems like there's kind of an influx of that, and so I really wanted to try something new and different. And also, I loved the idea of making these dragons out of something more substantial and heavier.
Well, and I like the fact that and I'm going to lay one out here in the middle, that they're fairly stylized too, which makes them, I mean, aside from the fact that, these are solid. These are not empty, hollow casts. I mean, these are solid metal. But they have a really unique visual appeal. I can't really say this feels like any art style that I've seen before. And
that's when I was first thinking about it in my head, it was going to be high fantasy rendered, like sort of D&D module.
With beautifully frozen, some amazing pose,
And when we brought an artist that we knew, Nick Nazzaro, on to do some of the artwork, and he's like, I want to do something different. I've got some ideas. Let me show you some sketches. And he brought some initial concepts to us that we were like, yes, that is amazing. And it almost has this, it's a very whimsical feel to it, but also almost retro, like 8-bit and 16-bit video game style.
Yeah, particularly the map, the overworld map here.
Exactly.
When I wanted to highlight too that your score track over here, for those of you who like to ditch the box, everything fits
Exactly.
tidily in here so you can travel to go.
Exactly, and because I love taking games with me on the road or to friends' houses to play, and it can be kind of cumbersome to have 12 giant boxes to bring, and that also helps with the cloth map because it can fold up, roll up, and unroll really easily and come with you.
Well, and what you have in the box bottom over there is the fact that you have provided like a tuck box too for so the cards aren't all going willy-nilly inside. If you wanted to do this bag, they all stay together. Like, I mean, it's really obvious that you guys thought this out from start to finish, that this is a labor of love.
It really is, and there weren't many games where you could really be the dragon, and it felt like we really had to do it right if we were gonna play, take that step and say, all right, well, you can be the dragon. Well, all right, prove it.
Well, I would say you've admirably risen to the challenge. Well, Jake, thank you so much. I'm really glad you guys were able to stop by and give us a sneak peek of Dragoon. And let's talk about how many players this plays.
Oh, absolutely. So this is it's a 2 to 4 player game, and it actually scales pretty well from 2 to 4 players. So the more players you play with, the more populations are going to occur every round. And so it works really well. My fiance and I love playing games together, and so a 2-player game needs to feel really good and fun. And so that was really important when designing it because it works just as well with 2 to 3 or 4.
And how long do you think a typical game would take?
Usually between 40 to 50 minutes. A little longer if it's your first time, but generally we can get a game in like 25 minutes now at this point. Like, I don't know, 2,000 times at this point.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, Jake, thank you again. And if you guys want to check that out, that is Dragoon from Lay Waste Games. And enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much.